So since it's been a while since I've been here on BookTube, I figured what better way to kick off being back than to do a book haul. I've collected most of these books since June, and the only reason that I have like documentation of all this is because I remember writing a list down because I made a pretty big order from like Book Outlet and other things around my birthday and other things, and so I kind of purchased a ton of books, so a lot of these were purchased then. So I have still all of those books to haul, and also the books I've gotten since then. Most of them have been like new releases, things I've been so excited to get my hands on, so I figured we'll just do one gigantic, massive, collective book haul. So we're just going to start with the books that I am like most excited for, so I will start with those first. So the first book, and probably the one I was most excited for, was In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken. This is the third and final book of the Darkest Mind series. Please no spoilers, I have not yet read this. Don't hate me. The next book is also the third and final book in a trilogy, and that is The Retribution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. I cannot tell you how long I have been waiting to get my hands on this book. So this next one is a sequel to a book, and that is The Rules for Breaking by Ashley Elston. So I have read the first book, which is The Rules for Disappearing, and I actually really ended up liking it. So this has been on my like to be read list for a while now, and now this book is finally out, so I do plan on reading this one very soon. The next book is also the third and final in a trilogy, and that is Ashes to Ashes by Jenny Han and Siobhan Vivian. I always feel like I'm slaughtering her name. I apologize. You're going to notice a trend. A lot of these books I just noticed are like the third and final books. I mean, this one's not a third book, but it's a final book. And that is Opposition by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I know, no one make fun of me because I've not read this last one yet. This one came out like forever ago, and I have not read it yet, you guys. I haven't. And it is like just dawned on me like the other day that I haven't finished the series. So like the last one in this pile of like final books in series is Endless by Kate Bryan. So now that I kind of started with this series, just to humor me, I need to finish it, or else I just have to know how this crazy world she created ends. Is yeah, I just have to know. And not like it's like I gave these books I think a solid 3 or 3.5, but it's like one of those books that you just have to know how it ends. So the next book I got is Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I have been dying to get my hands on this. I'm excited to read it. And then we have 4 by Veronica Roth. One of my favorite series is the Divergent series. And this has finally come out, and it's all like the 4 short stories told from 4's point of view. I've been really excited to read this, and I don't know why I haven't yet. I really have no excuse for this one. The next one I got is The Jewel by Amy Ewing. Okay, this is total cover love right here. Like, can we just? I honestly don't remember what this one is about, and I kind of don't want to anymore because I read the synopsis obviously before I bought it, and it sounded really good. But now that I've kind of forgotten, I just want to like experience it blindly, if that makes sense. So I'm really excited to read this. The next book I picked up is Black Ice by Becca Fitzpatrick. I was totally going to read this along with all the other people that read this a few months back, and I just never had time to. But I do intend on reading this soon. It sounds so good, like a girl that gets trapped in the mountains. Like, I don't know if she's kidnapped, something like that, with a bunch of captors, and she falls for one or something. I probably slaughtered that, but it sounds really good. This next book I picked up is 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. This book has been on my TBR for a long time now, and it finally got released, and I got my hands right on this bad boy. I know it has to deal with time travel and switching dimensions, and she's trying to find a killer. Sounds really good, that's all I remember from it, but I've been waiting for this book for a while, and I finally got it, so we're good. The next book I picked up is The Thing About the Truth by Lauren Barnholt. I think that's how you say it. I know this is, I think, like more of a new adult. I could be wrong, but it kind of struck me as something for more mature readers, so I've been into that genre lately, so I'm anxious to read this one. The next book I picked up is Wild Awake by Hilary T. Smith, and I just need a moment to mourn because I just realized my dog got a hold of the corner. I don't know if you can see that. It just makes me utterly, utterly sad. I've been wanting to read this for a long time. I don't remember whose video and I feel bad, but I saw someone haul this and talk about it and it sounded so good, so I definitely wanted to get my hands on this. This next book is from an author that I really love, and it's Morgan Matson, Since You've Been Gone. This book was really popular this summer and I just never got around to reading it. I know it has to deal with like a girl that has to complete a list of things that her friend left, so kind of sounds like a fun like adventure type book, so I'm really excited to read that one. This next book I picked up I've been so excited for, and that is Blonde Ops by Charlotte Bernardo and Natalie Zaman. It sounded very interesting when I read the synopsis, so I cannot wait to read this one. The next book, to keep with some trends, is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. Been wanting to read this one for a while now, and I finally got it, and I'm going to join the bandwagon of everyone else that has read it, and I am not. Next we have Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. I love this cover. It's so simple but so cute. Cannot wait to read this. I haven't read anything by Rachel Hawkins that I know of, but I've heard really good things about this, so I'm so excited to read it. The next book I picked up is What I Thought Was True by Huntley Fitzpatrick. So one of my favorite books is My Life Next Door by this same author, and she came out with this one. I don't know if that's like a certain tie with that book. Not quite sure the relation, but anything by this author now I am sure to pick up because I really loved My Life Next Door, so I've heard good things about it. Cannot wait to read this one. The next book I picked up is Nearly Gone by Elle Cosimano, something like that. I know this is kind of a thriller about a serial killer and this girl that's like figuring it out. I think it has to do with like something in the newspaper, like he leaves clues or something. I might have just slaughtered that, but this book sounds amazing. Like I love thriller / mystery type books, so I really wanted to pick this one up. It sounds amazing. Next we have Alienated by Melissa Landers. Ever since I read the Lux series, I've kind of been on this like weird alien trip, and I think I purchased this one like shortly after I finished those books, so I cannot wait to read this. I've heard mixed things about it, but for the most part pretty good things, so super excited to read this. The next book I picked up is The Winner's Curse by Marie Rutkoski. I think that's how you say her name, and again, the cover, amazing. The next book I got is How to Love by Katie Katugno, something like that. I know this is kind of like a contemporary, more like mature contemporary, so very excited to read this. I'm not gonna lie, this is like my favorite shade of blue, so that might have been one of the reasons why I really wanted to purchase this book. The next book I got is Another Little Piece by Kate Carias-Quinn. So after I bought this, I haven't seen like the best reviews of this book. Mostly people are like very confused. Like they couldn't figure out what was going on, or it was just too confusing for them to piece together, like too many characters going on, something like that. So now I'm kind of nervous to read this, but I did buy it on Book Outlet for like $3, so you kind of can't go wrong with that. The next book I got is Pretty Girl 13 by Liz Coley. I haven't heard too many things about this one, but I think I picked it up because it reminds me of a similar story that like kind of really happened close to home for me. The next book I got is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I've heard really good things about this. I know this is a lot of people's like favorite series, so I kind of wanted to see what all the hype was about, so I finally picked it up. The next book I got is Enclave by Anne Aguirre. This is kind of like a zombie-ish type book, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Haven't read too many books like that, so I definitely wanted to get like more genres along that line so I can kind of get used to that. The next book I picked up is Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Love this author, and I've heard this is very similar with Vampire Academy, one of my favorite series, so I'm very excited to jump into this. I hope it's not too much like a copycat because I like my differences in books, so we'll see how this goes. The next book I got is The Other Countess by Eve Edwards. I've been kind of like into this kick around when I bought this book with like old Victorian era type stuff, so I saw this and it sounded very intriguing and I'm very excited to read it. The next book I picked up was Vesper by Jeff Sampson. I honestly don't remember the synopsis of this. a whole lot, but it sounded very good. This next book is inspired by my inner child because I absolutely love the story, and that is Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. I love Ella Enchanted. I've never read the book though, but I watched the movie like over and over and over growing up. Loved it, and I'm so excited to actually own the book. This I just saw it on sale and I had to get it. The next book I got is Unraveling by Elizabeth Norris. I've heard some pretty good things about this series, so I wanted to check this out for myself, so I picked it up. The next book I got is Saving Francesca by Marlena Marchetta. I've had a few people recommend this to me, so I saw it on Book Outlet for pretty cheap, so I picked it up. And I will read this so I can finally let all those people know how I felt about it. The next book I picked up is Take Me There by Carolee Dean. I don't know too much about this book. I haven't seen too many people read it. I know it's like a contemporary travel type book, so very excited to read this. I love contemporary. Pretty sure most of you know this. The next book I picked up is Rules of Attraction by Simone Elkeles. I read Perfect Chemistry finally after like so long. Ended up loving it, so I picked up the second book, which takes place with one of the main character's brothers in the first one, so very excited to continue on. I've heard that this series just gets better, so very excited for that. The next one I picked up is Unraveling Isabel by Aline Cook. I know this is another like new adult / contemporary. I don't know how new adultish it is though. Someone said it was, but I don't know if I really get the gist because I've read a book like mentioned on the back of this, and it was definitely not new adult material, so who knows how this one's going to turn out because I wasn't a fan of one of her other books that I have read. The next book I picked up is Stay by Deb Coletti. I have not read this author before, and this one sounded pretty good. I just think that it's interesting to see different takes of relationships. I think this one's like about a girl in an abusive relationship and a guy that just keeps on trying to make her stay in it, so kind of sounded interesting, and it's a new take on like contemporary but not. That makes no sense, but I just like things with a twist like that, so I decided to pick this one up. So these next two books I picked up are part of the same series, I guess you can say, and that is 10 Tiny Breaths and One Tiny Lie by K.A. Tucker. I've already read 10 Tiny Breaths. I actually owned this on my Kindle, I think, and I read that, like, I think I ended up reading this a while back, and I loved the first book, and then I looked on Amazon to buy the second on Kindle, and it was just cheaper to buy the books than it was the Kindle, so I ended up getting both of these for pretty cheap, and have yet to read the second one, but I did read the first one and ended up really liking it, so I'm very excited to continue on with the series and see how it goes. This next book I'm super excited for, and that is On the Fence by Casey West. I absolutely love Casey West. I love her writing. I read The Distance Between Us by her, and I thought it was the cutest book, ended up loving it, so of course I picked this one right up. So the next book I got was Stealing Heaven by Elizabeth Scott. Kind of about thieves, like a mom and daughter thieving team, so sounded interesting. Had to pick it up. These next two are part of a series, and that is The Hunt and the Prey by Andrew Fukuda. I noticed a lot of booktubers got these around the same time I did, and I think it's because they were on a really good deal on Book Outlet, so a lot of people picked these up like right about the same time I did, so haven't seen anyone read them yet, but I think these sound like awesome, so I'm very excited to read it and get my take on it. Then I got Article 5 by Kristen Simmons. It's been a while since I've read a dystopian book. I think Divergent was like one of the last like dystopians I read, so I'm ready to kind of jump back into that world. Next I got All the Truth That's in Me by Julie Berry. Very creepy cover. Seems like kind of like a more sad plot. Very anxious to read this though. It sounded amazing. So I cannot wait. Okay, when I saw this book, I knew I had to snatch it up. It is a fairy tale retelling of Snow White, and that is Nameless, A Tale of Beauty and Madness. So for anyone who doesn't know, I absolutely love fairy tale retellings when they are done in a good way. So I saw this. I think the cover is amazing. I think they did a Cinderella one. There might be another since then from when I picked it up, but I wanted to just try this one out and see how I liked it, so I will let you guys know. The next book I picked up is Something Strange and Deadly by Susan Dennard. I've been meaning to pick this one up for the longest time. I just never got around to it, so finally I did, and I'm excited. I think this is like a steampunk novel, and I've heard nothing but good things about this series, so very excited to start on this bandwagon as well. Next, I got False Memory by Dan Krokos. I hope I said that right. I read the synopsis again when I bought this, but it's been a while since I did that. So next I got The Program by Suzanne Young. This is another book that I've heard really good things about. I know it's about like a suicide epidemic type thing, so kind of sounded very intriguing. I've never read anything like that before, so very excited to finally get my hands on this one. Next we have Poison by Bridget Zinn. I have been wanting to pick this book up for the longest time. It just hasn't been one that's like I had to have it, and it's been pretty expensive, but I finally found it on a pretty cheap deal, so ended up snatching it when I saw it. And I don't know, this cover reminds me of something, I just can't think of what. I feel like there's a movie cover with the same similar type thing. If you guys know what it is, you should tell me in the comments down below, because it's been driving me nuts. The next book I got is Rush by Eve Silver. Absolutely love this cover. I just love shades of blue, so this cover called out to me. Sounded amazing. I just don't remember what it's about. Sorry guys, I'm getting horrible at this, but like I said, it's been since like June since I bought some of these, this one included. The last book I got is Inhuman by Kat Falls. This one I know is another kind of dystopian type book. Something that has to do with like going over a side of like this big tall wall. I don't know if you can really see it on the cover. So that was my very long book haul. I apologize if this video got kind of lengthy. I tried to make it as short as possible. Definitely let me know in the comments down below which one of these I should jump on first, because I don't even know where to begin. My TBR pile is ridiculously huge now. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Leave me any comments down below, like I said, on which book I should read first, which one you guys loved, and let me know what you guys are reading. I love hearing it, and yeah, see you guys next time. Bye!